Hey, Facebook. How are you? How is everyone doing on this Sunday? It's a little rainy here in South Carolina, and I'm just waiting for my audience to build as I want to share some things that's on my heart with you. Just got out of church, great service, and I just wanted to share again my heart with you. Hi, Maxine. Hello, beautiful. How are you? Paulette. Hi, Paulette. Great to see you. Joining me today on this rainy Sunday. At least it's rainy here in South Carolina. North Carolina, on the other hand, which is not too far away, there's not much rain. I love you, my friend Maxine. Great to see you. So today is Sunday, and I wanted to share my heart with you guys and just be as transparent as I can be. In the meantime, bringing you some encouragement. So, what date is this? November 13th. November 13th. And for 10 months ago, God placed something on my heart to do based on some videos I saw online. And those videos online really tore at my heart because what I saw were images of young men and young women fighting. But in a sense, the young men were really abusing these young women. And it bothered me. It bothered me for days, and I couldn't shake it. I picked up my phone. Hey, Anne-Marie, my girl Lisa. I picked up my phone, and I called a friend in Jamaica, and I said, how do I get in touch with the superintendent of police in Port Antonio, right? And so she said, give me 5 minutes. I'll get back to you. And so she called me back in 5 minutes, and she not only gave me her phone number, but she gave me work phone number, cell phone number, and her email. I reached out to the then superintendent of police in Port Antonio, and I said, something has been bothering. I introduced myself, first of all, introduced myself to her, and I said, you know what? There's things that are bothering me. I'm seeing images in my beautiful home country, Jamaica, where there is a lack of regard for relationships. People fight, and they're always fighting. But the images that I've recently seen were men just beating women. People videotape, and nobody helps. Okay? And I cannot really believe in my heart that my country has gone to such a state where people will videotape a man beating a woman but won't even interject. And I get it. A lot of people don't want to get involved because of fear of, that person's wrath be, given to them. So I told the superintendent of police in Port Antonio that, I would love to do an event in Jamaica for domestic violence that would have, talk about education, resources, the signs, what does it look like? And she said, yes, I would love for you to come to Jamaica and do this. For those of you who are online watching me right now, I'm a Jamaican girl, born and raised. I left Jamaica 27 years ago. My first 7 years in the United States, I experienced abuse, serious abuse. You might not even know I had hot water poured on me by my first husband. I was kicked down a flight of stairs and ended up in the hospital. I ran away from him and I became homeless. That was the life I lived for the first 7 years being in this country. It was very, very difficult for me, but I managed through faith and through perseverance and just very close family that helped me. And I am now at a point in my life where I speak all over the United States to women that have been in abusive relationship and help them go from stuck to success, from broken to brave, from victim to victor, from survivor to thriver. That is my passion, but not only is it my passion, it is my purpose from God. This is why I went through 7 years of domestic violence, because God was preparing me for this mission that he gave me. God was preparing me for this mission. But you can't reach someone in a certain situation unless you have been through it, right? I would never be able to talk to a woman who feels broken and betrayed and beaten if I had not gone through it. So God saved me. I could have lost my life like a lot of women have, but God saved me and he prepared me and he molded me. Clara, oh my God, how are you? Great to see you. Hi, Darlene Young. Hi, Marcia. And so God was preparing me, and even through the struggle, even through those beatings, even through being called fat, even through being called stupid, God was preparing me for his mission for me now. And so I picked up when I called my friend and asked her for the superintendent phone number, and she gave it to me. And I reached out to the superintendent of police in Port Antonio, and she said, yes, I will partner with you and make this happen. I got nervous because the very thing that I wanted to do, now the superintendent of police is saying, yep, you can do it. I'm like, whoa, here I am now. Someone agreed to help me do an event in Jamaica about domestic violence. So what did I do? I went on Facebook and I created a Facebook group in the Messenger, and I added 20 something people to that group. And I said, hi, Marlene. Hi, my friend. I added 20 something people to that group, and I poured my heart out. I said in the group, I said, hey guys, I saw these images on Facebook with people beating up men, beating women, young children. People are videotaping it. Nobody cares about each other anymore. And I cannot believe my country is in a state where the lives of our women means nothing. And nobody is saying anything. Nobody is speaking up for these women. And here I am in a country that I'm doing it. So why can't I go to Jamaica and do it? So I reached out to my Facebook group. I told them what I saw. I told them that I got a date to go to Jamaica and do this event in Jamaica for domestic violence. And everyone that was in that group said, yes, I will be with you. I'm there with you. I love it. I want you to do. My daughter is on, my beautiful daughter, Brianna. Hi, baby. And I wanted everybody to understand that, this is what I wanted to do and if they would support me. And everyone said yes. Everyone said yes. So at that point, we started planning for this event. I laid out a plan as to what I wanted. I wanted to do one thing on day 1, another thing on day 2, another thing on day 3. Well, as you know, I am not in Jamaica right now, right? Because my plans that I had and what I thought was going to happen the way I wanted to happen did not happen that way. So there was a roadblock, right? There was a roadblock. And the thing I know about roadblock is sometimes roadblocks are a disappointment or a setback, but it allows you to come back even better, right? It allows you to come back even better. Hi, Marcia. So my roadblock, it was disappointing to me that for months I had this vision that God gave me. This was something he placed in my heart. This was something he put inside of me. And I went online and I asked for help. And what I thought I was going to get really didn't happen. So what ended up happening was a totally different direction, right? So my vision was no longer my vision, right? Somebody else made it their vision. And as a result of that, I had to pull away from something that I started. But what I know is true, and as I said it in my title, when God gives you a vision, nobody else can execute that vision. You are the only one that can execute that vision. And what God will do is he will send roadblocks in your life And those roadblocks, although they're a setback, they're only a setup for an amazing comeback. And so I have made peace with not being in Jamaica this week. I have made peace with it, because what I know I'm going to do is my event is going to happen next year, but it is going to happen the way God gave the vision to me and the way the vision was designed. Mr. Richard Thompson, so great to see you, sir. Clara, thank you. Yes. So what I know in my life, and this is factual for me. Hey, sissy, this is factual for me. Every time there is a roadblock, the GPS reroutes it. And when I talk about my GPS, I'm not talking about the GPS in the car. I'm talking about God's protection and his salvation. God's protection and his salvation. And what he does, his GPS reroutes my direction. And so the GPS for this whole weekend that I should have been in Jamaica has been rerouted. And I know this for sure, that it will be better than I even imagined that it could ever been. Because every setback is a setup for a comeback that is bigger and better than you can even imagine. And I'll tell you, in my life, I went through domestic violence where I was beaten down, I was broken down, I was empty. I thought about suicide, I was homeless. That was my struggle the first 7 years of my life in this country. And today, I am married to the most amazing man in the world, right? So God's comeback for me when it comes on to relationship is even better than I could ever imagine. The second thing that happened to me is the homelessness, right? I was homeless. That was a breakdown. That was a roadblock. That was a setback. But God blessed me and I came back and I own my own home. The third thing that happened to me was they repossessed my car. That was a roadblock. That was a setback. But now I drive the car that I want to drive, right? With my job, they told me I would never be anything. I worked at my job for 25 years. And at the 20th year in my career, I was a vice president. So there is nothing that happens to me when it comes on to setbacks and roadblocks that I don't overcome. Yes, my heart is broken about what happened with this whole Jamaica weekend. Am I broken? Absolutely. Why am I broken? It was my vision. It was my vision. I wanted to give birth to my vision, but God saw it differently. God saw it differently. And sometimes God will use people. He will use people to reroute you, and he will use people to get you into a roadblock because he wants you to believe in him in such a way that you trust him to deliver you. And I can tell you this, someone helped me to take my blinders off because I had blinders on because I trusted people to just carry out my vision. But no one can carry out your vision but you. And when God placed that baby inside of you, you're the only one can give birth to it. So for all of you that thought I would have been in Jamaica this weekend, I deliberately pulled out of it. Why? Because what I wanted to do, hey, Veron, Veron White, because whatever I wanted to do, hi, Andy, how are you, love? Because what I wanted to do and the vision that God gave me, it was not being executed in the fashion that God wanted it. So God stopped it. He stopped it right in his tracks, and he sent someone to give me a message to say, take your blinders off, open up your eyes. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. So I have disappointed some people, and for that, I am truly sorry. But I want you all to know, and for those of you who know me as friends and family, know that I live my life with the highest level of integrity. I live my life transparent. Sometimes I say too much. Sometimes I live my life out there. So what you see is what you get. There's no ulterior motive. There is no other Joan. In Jamaica, everyone called me Pet, P-E-T. That was my nickname. Here, everyone knows me as Joan. But there's no ulterior motive. There's no nothing hidden. I am who I am. Varen White, who is on here, we have known each other since high school. She called me JT. I called her VW forever, for all of our lives. This is how I live my life. The gift that God gave me is the gift of a great personality. I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't do a lot of this stuff. But what I can do is I have a great personality, and I can inspire and motivate people to do better. And that's why today my business is called Victorious You. Why I called my business Victorious You? It's because I know what it is like to be broken. I know what it is like to feel like there is nothing left inside of you, to feel an emptiness, that you feel like you want to tie something around your waist and just use the rest of your organs to fill that emptiness. I've been beaten, I've been broken, I've been walked on, I've been stepped on, I've had things run over me. I've had people call me names. I've had, a man treat me like a doormat. I've had people at my job told me you can't be what you say you want to be. And I've overcame it all. I've beaten the odds, and I continue to beat the odds. So yes, not being in Jamaica this weekend was devastating, and it hurt my heart. It made me cry. There's a lot of days I cried because I remember how this vision got started. I remember why this even came about. I remember, I thought about doing this video a million times and saying, no, I'm not. No, I'm not going to say anything about what happened in Jamaica. No, I'm going to walk away from it. No, I'm going to let it be. But there was a pressing in my spirit. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not. But I wanted people to know that I feel bad that I'm not there. Do people miss my portion? Maybe not. Maybe not. Because, as I said, the vision that God gave me was not being executed the way he gave it to me. And so he stopped me dead in my tracks and he said, I have to reroute this GPS. This is not the direction I want you to go in. So I'm going to stop it right here. I'm going to put this roadblock up. You can't go. Cancel everything because I have another vision for you. And I want your vision to be executed the way that I want it to be executed. Listen, guys, domestic violence is real. Sister Teresa, my friend, how are you, darling? Carol Coley, hi. Hi, Tisha, how are you? And so the vision that God gave me, it has to be executed in a certain way. Because let me tell you, the epidemic is real. The epidemic is real. People are dying. Women are dying from domestic violence. When I think about Jamaica, and my friend Karen sent me the statistics with domestic violence in Jamaica, it's not even just domestic violence. It's even sexual abuse with little children. Even with the little children. So there is an epidemic in our country. There is an epidemic across the world. There is an epidemic. There is a generational curse where domestic violence is concerned, because children are living in homes where they see their parents fighting, but their grandparents fought and the grandparents fought. So from generation to generation, they live with the sense of fighting and power and control and abuse. We've got to break that. We have got to break that curse. There is an economic curse as well, because it is almost like there is a hidden, acceptance for domestic violence. There is crazy thoughts where women say, if you don't hit me, he don't love me. Or there's crazy thoughts where the men say, she's my girl, so I can do whatever. Absolutely not. Love does not hurt. Love doesn't hurt. And so with this vision that God gave me, I have to execute it the way that it's executed. I have to execute it with integrity. I have to execute it with excellence. And so I'm not in Jamaica this weekend because the vision that God gave me to execute an event that I started changed totally. And I've accepted it. I've accepted it that it got out of my hands. I literally just gave it up. Okay? Take it and you run with it and you make it your own. So that's the truth about Jamaica. And I'm okay with not being there. But it hasn't stopped me because, as I said, in every area of my life, I've had roadblocks. In every area of my life, the GPS, God's power and his salvation, God's purpose for me has to be executed the way he designed it, the way he gave me the vision. And if it's not happening that way, he will put the roadblock up and he will reroute my direction and my GPS. Thank you, Maxine. Still strong. Still standing. They can't break me. They may make, I feel betrayed and I feel sad, but no one can break the spirit. Nobody can break the spirit, because at the end of the day, it is not even about Joan. It's not about me. I am a vessel. I'm 52 years old and I am a vessel that God is using to do his work. This is a design. This is a divine purpose. This is not something like a fly-by-night thing that I just want to happen and just want to show me. No, this has nothing to do with me. This has nothing to do with Joan Thaxter Randall. This has everything to do with my design, my divine purpose. The purpose, the reason why I went through domestic violence and survived for 7 years is because God wanted to use me to save lives. He wants to use me to help women. That's my purpose. I've accepted that. I've accepted it. I've accepted that this is my purpose. Yes, it's something that's difficult to talk about. Some people don't even want to stand and be associated with it. 1 in 4 women will be abused in their lifetime. 25% of women are abused. So there are, 12 of you on the line. So of the 12, 3 of you at least, or 4 of you have gone through abuse. Whether it's physical, whether it's verbal, whether it's psychological, where you feel like you're going crazy. Intimidation, coercion, power and control. Whatever it is, sexual abuse, financial abuse, spiritual abuse. Somebody on this Facebook Live have gone through it. So the purpose, my purpose cannot be taken, right? The vision that God gave me cannot be duplicated. It cannot be taken. You can borrow the idea and you can make it your own and you can take all the credit. Take it. I concede to you. Take the credit for everything. But guess what? My purpose, my divine purpose, my event will go on. So it's going to go on in a different way. And it's going to go on bigger and better. Why? Because again, as I said, every setback is a setup for a comeback that is bigger. And for some of you that were on, that didn't get the first part, I talked about an event that I planned. I've been planning for months because of a vision I saw and on Facebook, and I picked up the phone and I made a phone call and I made a connection and I created a Facebook group and I said, will you help me execute this event? And basically my event was taken. That sometimes happens too when you trust people and when you think that everybody is like you, where they're trustworthy. Hey, Joan. Hey, Susie. How are you? Where you give the benefit of the doubt. But the whole time I was wearing blinders. But it's over. It's done. I'm past it. I'm past the event. But again, for those of you who I could not be, who was not, who, let me come back. For those of you who were disappointed that I was not in Jamaica this past weekend, it was because I was not supposed to be there. It was just, God stopped me in my tracks. He rerouted the GPS. He said, Joan Randall, this is not what you're supposed to be doing at this time. So I want you to look at it a different way. I am not allowing you to go to Jamaica. Yes, Susie, I know you did. I know you did the first time I spoke about it on Periscope. This was in January or February. So I had to cancel my hotel, cancel my plane ticket, and they have a nerve to charge me $200 to cancel my plane ticket. But it's okay. It's okay. Our event will happen next year in Jamaica, and it will be totally different. And I have a team of people that will help me, because no matter what we do, right? We're not an island. We can't do everything by ourselves. God places people in our lives to bless us, and he gives us all talent and gifting. And I want to surround myself with people that are willing to be used by God for his purpose. That's what I want to be surrounded by, people that are willing to be used by God for his purpose, because it's not all about the money, right? And this event that I want to do in Jamaica, I don't want anybody to have to pay to come to it. I don't. If I'm going to talk to a group of people about how you can survive to thrive, how you can go from broken to brave, how you can go from victim to victor, how you can go from survivor to thriver, how you can go from stuck to success, how you can use the power of choice to your advantage. If I can talk to people about that, I don't want them to have to pay to see me speak. I don't want them to, right? So the event is going to happen next year. We're in the preliminary stages. Thank you so much, Paulette. We're in the preliminary stages of, what it's going to look like. And, not much that I can say about it now, because again, this is my vision and it can only be executed by me. Nobody else can execute it but me. And one of the things that I know about God is that he blesses his people. He protects his people. He protects his children. He protects his children. And even when his children have blinders on, even when we have blinders on, God finds a way to throw the roadblock right in front of your eye that your car can't drive through it. And that's what he did to me last week, Tuesday. He just put the roadblock up and said, absolutely not. Shut it down. You're not going. Yes. And I went to my hubby and I said, babe, I'm not going to Jamaica again. He goes, why? And I told him, and he said, that's it. Cancel everything. That was painful. But God helped me through it. And today I'm in a great place. I feel good. I just left my church service. Loved it. But what I'm here to tell you, and I'm going to sign off in a minute, is to say, when roadblocks come your way, don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. Because sometimes those roadblocks, those setbacks are a setup for a comeback. Because God has gone before you. He sees what you have not yet seen. And he knows what's going to happen. So he will send angels and roadblocks and things to take you off course. Take you off course. You are being rerouted. You got to change this. You got to go. You got to follow, the GPS, because it's rerouting. I love it. A dream delayed is not a dream deferred. A dream delayed is not a dream deferred. The only thing that this is making, that this is allowing me to do, is to even make it on a bigger, grander scale. Bigger and a grander scale. So the message today. Hey, Sister Dina. That's God's protection. Yes, ma'am. So the message today is not about me canceling my trip to Jamaica for this past weekend's event. The message for today is that don't get discouraged by disappointments. Don't get discouraged by setbacks. Don't get discouraged by roadblocks. Because right over that hill is your blessing. Right over that hill. I love it. God's position and system. Right over that hill is your breakthrough. Right over that hill is the start of the rest of your life. Right over my hill of domestic violence was my incredible husband, Bill Randall. Right over that hill of homelessness is the beautiful home I now own. Right over that hill with car repossessed is the car that I drive. Right over that hill of having a tough time with my job, I became a vice president. Right over that hill is your next increase. Right over that hill is your next blessing. Right over that hill is your next assignment from God. Right over that hill is your next breakthrough. So don't allow setbacks, disappointments, roadblocks to stop you from praising God. It is in those moments when you're most vulnerable. It is in those moments, through your tears, that God picks you up and said, my daughter, my son, I'm going to make it better for you. I'm going to make it better for you. Thank you for joining me. I love you guys, and have a blessed Sunday. Peace out.